Okay, well, just because we're not at school doesn't mean we shouldn't keep up on our book. Super. Oh, yeah, remember there was some kind of fire or something in the school because of a souffle? A platoon of uniformed firefighters swarmed past us in the direction of the home and careers room. Side. I'll give you that, Noah. There's definitely room for improvement. Noah glowed. Chapter 2, Super Stoked by Noah Euclid. I used to go to the Academy for Scholastic Distinction, the top rated gifted school in the state. According to Oz, my former homeroom teacher, I had the highest IQ of the faculty, any of the faculty I had ever come across. They held weekly staff meetings on how to keep me stimulated and challenged. They even sent a group of teachers to a conference in Switzerland on how to motivate students at the highest rung of the intelligence ladder. I was bored out of my mind. I once saw this video on YouTube where a kid was complaining about a classmate being a know it all, and I was amazed at how insensitive that was. It's no fun to be a know it all because you know it all. You can never be surprised or shocked or scared or thrilled because whatever happens, you already saw it coming. Know it all shouldn't annoy people. Everybody should feel sorry for us and relieved they don't have this problem. My teachers at the academy threw the hardest stuff in the world at me, and I threw it right back at them, and none of it challenged me as much as one souffle in home and careers at a regular school. My project was a triumph of data mining, distilling centuries of recipes into a list of ingredients no single chef could have come up with. Things like cardamom and quail eggs, camel's milk, and finely ground roasted durian seeds. Scientifically, this should have been the most magnificent souffle in the history of cooking. Instead, it burned like chlorine trifluoride, excuse me, a key ingredient in rocket fuel. The fire chief commented that he hadn't smelled anything like that since the great fertilizer factory explosion of 2006. My teacher, Mrs. Vazina, said, "You must be very disappointed, Noah." How could I ever explain it to her? I wasn't disappointed, I was stoked. If I was bad at one thing, logic dictated that I could be bad at other things too. It was like discovering a whole new world. There was an old song from the 1960s called Be True to Your School that always perplexed me. Why would anyone from a sentimental attachment to a building? There was nothing to be true except bricks and mortar and glass, and a few dozen other materials. But now I was starting to feel real affection for Hardcastle Middle School. It had to be the greatest school in the history of education. It was teaching me how to learn when before that I didn't need to because I already knew it all. Some days the learning started even before I arrived at school, like this morning. I was on the bus when at the stop after mine, this guy got on, lumbered down to me, and said, "Hey kid, this seat's taken." "Of course it's taken," I agreed. "I'm sitting in it. But there's a vacant seat next to me. Feel free to use it." "Beat it, nerd." He picked me up by the collar and tossed me across the aisle. A moment later, my book bag slammed into my chest. I was about to protest the rough treatment when I realized something. In my old seat, the window was open, and it was quite chilly outside. It wasn't a problem for him. He was a bigger, hardier person. So he wasn't being mean. He was doing me a favor. We'll stop there until tomorrow. I hope you will join me then.